Welcome to English Weaver. Today we share the story of Sydney Sweeney, a talented actor who rose from small auditions to major roles. If you love stories and want to learn English, subscribe. Sydney grew up curious and brave. As a child, she loved acting and storytelling. Small moments at home and at school shaped her courage and her choice to pursue a creative life. This opening part shows her early hunger and her quiet hope. It shows how families, teachers, and small risks helped her build skill and belief that she could reach the screen. We promise real emotion and simple language. The story will show both bright days and hard nights. You will feel her hope, her fear, and her steady effort. Now we begin the first chapter of Sydney Sweeney's life. Stay with us as we explore her childhood and the small steps that led to a bright, complicated career. Sydney grew up in a warm, busy home where small performances felt natural. She loved stories and would act them out for family members. This playfulness sparked a dream. Her parents watched with gentle pride, and they gave her space to explore. They praised effort more than victory. That steady support built her confidence slowly but surely. At school, she liked English and drama. She read aloud and learned to listen. Friends remember a thoughtful girl who loved the stage and cared about small details. Early teachers saw her talent and they offered gentle guidance. A coach helped her shape lines and control nerves. These early lessons taught craft and calm. She took small classes in acting and dance. Weekends meant rehearsals or reading lines. These hours were quiet work that began to make a real skill appear. As a young teen, she faced everyday tests of will. Friends went out and she often chose practice. That choice felt lonely at times, but it grew her focus and discipline. Balancing school and auditions taught her time management. She learned how to study around calls and how to prepare quickly. These skills would help later in life. Travel to auditions meant early mornings and late nights. Parents drove her and waited in cars. Those small sacrifices were the first seeds of a working life. Sometimes she felt doubt and fear. Rejection is part of the path. She learned to take criticism as a lesson and not a verdict on her value. She kept trying every day. Financial strain touched the family like it touches many dreaming homes. They found ways to keep plans alive. This taught Sydney resourcefulness and gratitude. At times, she studied roles on cheap paper and old scripts. She practiced scenes with friends and siblings. Creativity grew even when tools were simple. The local stage and small film sets became her classroom. She learned to watch, to listen, and to mirror real emotions. Each small job was a lesson in truth. Support from mentors mattered. An early director gave kind, clear notes. That voice of trust helped her keep trying when the path looked thin, and it guided her. She also found joy outside work. Long walks, music, and quiet moments kept her connected to life. These small joys grounded her and kept the craft honest. Her curiosity pushed her to read biographies and to watch thoughtful films. She treated art like training. That broad reading built empathy and craft. Close friends became a safe space for honest feedback. They told her when a line felt false and when a moment shone. That trust shaped better performances. Sacrifice and play sat side by side. She loved to laugh and to explore, yet she kept a steady rhythm of practice. Balance felt fragile but essential. In her teens, she began to understand the business side of acting. Contracts, agents, and schedules entered conversations. This new world asked for new skills. She learned to speak for herself and to set simple boundaries. That voice came from quiet confidence and from knowing what she would not trade for success. Small successes appeared in local productions and student films. Each small win was a proof of progress. They felt like quiet celebrations for family and team. Rejection days were followed by study nights. She used feedback to refine lines and to deepen emotion. Her craft moved forward through steady, patient work. The teenage years taught resilience and humility. She learned to listen more than to speak. She learned to let emotions be honest rather than loud. Her family celebrated without grand fanfare. Simple meals after a good rehearsal felt like a trophy. Those warm rituals kept her rooted and grateful. By the end of high school, she had built a small, steady reputation for reliability and warmth. Directors liked her ability to arrive ready and open. She felt a mixture of excitement and fear about leaving home. The thought of bigger stages made her heart race, but the comfort of home still mattered deeply. She made the choice to take careful steps toward a career. She did not rush. Instead, she planned, saved, and prepared for a slow, steady climb into the industry. Those early years taught her that talent is only a part of the journey. Hard work, kind mentors, and family care carry a young artist through the doubt and the risk. Sydney moved from small plays to camera work with caution and hope. She learned to listen on set and to ask simple questions when a scene felt unclear. Early guest spots on TV gave her a chance to learn the pace of filming. She watched older actors and copied what felt honest and true. Small roles taught timing and presence. On short shoots, she learned to find truth in short moments. Those tiny chances built a steady skill. Directors began to notice her focus and adaptability. They praised her for taking notes, for staying open, and for bringing small choices that felt real. Her first larger part let her test deeper emotion. She worked long hours and learned to protect her energy between scenes. That craft required rest. The rise came when she joined a show that many young viewers loved. Her character was complex, and she found ways to show pain and hope with quiet looks. The role asked her to be brave on screen. She faced both praise and critique. She took the good notes and used the tough words to sharpen her craft. Film work followed. Being on set with larger teams taught her new skills. She learned to pace scenes, to hit marks, and to listen to the camera team. Sydney moved between TV and film with care. She picked projects that let her try new tones, from comedy to dark drama to quiet human stories. Producers noticed she brought a steady focus and a willingness to try. They began to trust her with scenes that could make or break a film moment. As her visibility grew, she balanced acting with careful business steps. She learned to read contracts and to ask for clear terms before signing. She launched a production company to shape the kinds of stories she wanted to tell. Producing gave her more control and space to open doors for others. Producing taught her new patience. She sat in many meetings, learned budgets, and learned how to hire people who could share a vision and work hard. She also learned that public attention can feel heavy. Interviews and red carpets brought smiles, but they also asked for privacy and careful choices. Brand work and fashion offers came next. She approached these deals with rules. She chose partnerships that fit her values and that felt honest. On some films, she served as both actor and producer. This double role meant long days and hard decisions, but it also brought a deep sense of ownership. Critics sometimes praised her bold choices, and sometimes they questioned them. She learned to keep her focus on craft and on the next performance. Box office hits and slower films both taught her lessons. Success can be loud and quick, while meaning can hide in a small, quiet role. Awards and lists brought recognition. She took these moments as markers of work, not as a final goal. Her aim was to keep learning and to keep growing. She worked with directors who pushed her voice and who asked for honesty above all. Those partnerships shaped the actor she became. Collaboration became a key word for her. She sought teams that asked questions and that trusted actors to bring emotional truth. She also invested time in training. Voice work, movement, and script study kept her tools sharp. Even short exercises improved her presence on camera. Her choices showed a clear desire to test range. One project asked for raw intensity, another for light humor, and another for silent emotion. She welcomed them. Success brought choices about image and privacy. She learned to set boundaries in interviews and on social media while staying open to fans. Her work in both small and large projects created a reputation for versatility. Casting directors began to see her as able to carry different tones. She used new influence to support small writers and to press for set safety. Her production role aimed to lift fresh voices and fair practices. The career arc shows steady craft, wise choices, and growing agency. Each role added a new skill, and each setback taught a new form of care. Looking forward, she planned projects that matched her values. She wanted to tell human stories that felt true and that could help others feel seen. These years of work taught her that art needs both heart and hard work. Talent opens a door, but persistence, learning, and care keep a career moving. Early in her rise, Sydney faced long nights and little sleep. The work felt urgent. She learned that rest is not a weakness but a tool for better art and clearer choices. Rejection came often, even after praise. Auditions with hope ended with silence. She taught herself to treat each no as data, not as a final judgment on worth or skill. Some roles asked for parts of life she had not yet lived. That gap made her feel exposed. She found safety in study, in talking with coaches, and in slow, honest work. Critics could be sharp and public. A tough review would sting for days. She learned to listen for truth in the words and to ignore tone that aimed to harm rather than to help. On set, there were long negotiations about scenes and direction. Creative clashes led to tense hours. She learned to speak up calmly and to seek solutions that served the story. As attention grew, privacy shrank. Paparazzi and rumors tested her calm. She built simple routines to protect peace, and she held close friends as a trusted refuge. The pressure to look a certain way came with fashion and brand deals. She set rules for herself about what she would or would not endorse. These lines kept integrity intact. Some projects fell apart at the last minute. Filming schedules changed and teams shifted. She learned patience and the skill of letting go without losing hope. Burnout came once, in a season of back-to-back shoots. Her body and mind said stop. She accepted help, picked slow work, and rebuilt strength with small, steady steps. Social media brought praise and harsh notes in equal measure. She practiced limits and chose when to engage. That balance helped her keep a steady heart and clearer focus. She faced moments of doubt about her choices. Big offers tempted quick fame. She chose roles that felt right for craft, not only for attention, and that choice paid respect to her art. A public mistake once shared online felt large and loud. She owned the error, apologized simply, and learned a lesson about care in public words and private intent. Sometimes people tried to box her into one kind of part. Typecasting felt small and narrow. She fought that quietly by choosing diverse roles that showed different sides of her skill. Early financial limits taught her humility. She remembered tight budgets and shared houses. That memory grounded her when success began to flow more freely. Trust on set mattered, and she had to learn who to trust. False friends taught hard lessons. Over time, she built a small circle of loyal, honest people. Health challenges came in small ways, like stress and tension. She learned to seek therapy and to treat care as part of a long career plan, not as an emergency fix. Creative differences led to walking away from projects that felt wrong. That choice was risky, but it preserved her voice and left space for work that fit her values. At times, she felt the weight of being a role model. That pressure could make simple acts feel public. She learned to be honest, to set limits, and to speak from experience rather than from performance. Facing legal details and contracts taught another skill set. She built a team who could read terms and who could protect the work she loved without adding fear. She also saw unfair practices on some sets. She used her growing voice to push for safer, kinder workplaces. That effort came from care, not from show. Mistakes in public taught her humility. She learned to apologize, to correct course, and to carry the lesson forward. Growth felt real when it came from action. Loss appeared too, as projects she loved failed to find an audience. She learned that art can fail in market terms but still matter deeply to those who made it. The challenge of balancing fame with a private life felt constant. She made simple plans to protect relationships and to keep time for friends outside the industry. When a film received harsh reviews, she sat with the team and learned. She asked for honest notes and used them to grow, not to hide from the next chance. There were moments of fear about remaining relevant. She fought that fear by sharpening the craft, by saying yes to learning, and by choosing work that felt true. Criticism sometimes brought public debate. She stayed calm and answered with work rather than with drama. Her steady focus turned noise into forward motion. Through each test, she learned core lessons. Speak kindly to yourself, set clear limits, seek honest help, and keep the love of craft at the center of every choice. Sydney's growing success brought big screens and new fans, yet she kept a clear heart. She chose work that could touch real people, not only to gain fame but to share truth. Her presence in film and TV changed how young viewers saw delicate stories. She gave quiet scenes weight, and she helped small moments feel seen and true to life. Critics and peers began to speak of craft, not only beauty. Directors named her a serious collaborator, and writers trusted her to carry emotional truth with quiet power. She used her platform to lift small voices. By producing, she opened doors for new writers and actors who might not have had a chance before her rise. Her public image shifted from rising star to someone who shapes stories. That shift gave her the power to ask for safer sets and fair treatment for cast and crew. Fans found comfort in her honest roles. Her characters often held space for pain and hope, and viewers wrote about feeling seen after a single scene or line. Sydney also helped shape conversations about work and rest. By sharing small boundaries, she taught many young workers to protect health while chasing big goals. Her fashion and brand choices reflected care, not only trend. She showed how to accept offers that match values and to say no when a deal felt wrong or rushed. In interviews, she spoke simply about craft, about study and practice. Her words reached many who wanted a steady path, not a quick climb to fame. She used production to fund smaller, brave stories. These films did not always top charts, but they found honest audiences and opened paths for new talent. Her peers saw in her a steady worker who kept learning. She took classes, worked with coaches, and kept a quiet discipline that inspired others on set. Awards and praise came, but she framed them as notes on a long page. She kept humility and reminded teams that any honor belonged to many hands. Outside work, she supported causes that matter to her. She gave time and voice to groups focused on safety and fair pay, using influence to push change. The legacy she built is not only roles and prizes, but also the chance she gave to others. Producers now called on fresh writers because she had opened a door. Her path taught one clear lesson: use growth to serve others. She showed that success can expand into opportunity for those who follow behind. Young actors watched how she handled pressure. They learned that saying no can be a strong step, and that long-term craft often beats short-term noise. In classrooms and panels, she shared simple tools. Study scripts slowly, find truth in small choices, and keep a steady daily practice that builds skill. Her influence also touched social standards. By asking for safety and respect, she helped change how some sets treat young performers. Fans noted how honest she seemed in quiet moments, and that honesty became part of her gift. It gave viewers a way to feel less alone in their own lives. Her production work lifted diverse voices. Stories about small towns, quiet pain, and human care found light because she pushed to tell them. Over time, she became a model for steady growth. New actors no longer chased fame blindly. They planned, trained, and aimed for meaning in work. Her lessons were simple and clear. Protect your energy, choose work that matters, and share chances with others when you can. The lasting effect of her career is human. It is more than glitz. It is the slow growth of art that helps people feel seen, heard, and less alone. Many young artists now name her as an influence because she mixed craft with care. That mix changed small habits across sets and classrooms. At her best, Sydney turned private feeling into public art. Her legacy will be the moments that made viewers pause, think, and hope again. She taught that success is not a finish line but a chance to help. When one door opens, use it to open others, and do the work with steady kindness. This chapter of her life shows change that matters. Her impact is rare because it pairs skill with responsibility, and it leaves a gentle, lasting mark. Now we reach the end of Sydney's story. A clear summary of her path from small stages to wider work, filled with learning, courage, and steady care for craft and people. She rose by doing small things well, by studying lines, and by listening to honest notes. Her craft grew with patience, daily practice, and a calm focus on truth. The key lessons are simple. Protect your energy, find true friends, set clear limits, and choose roles that match your values. Skill grows through steady, honest work. Thank you for reading with English Weaver. If you enjoyed this story, please like, subscribe, and tap the bell to get new episodes that help you learn English. We hope the tale helped your English and your heart. Try to use one new phrase from this episode in a sentence today, and you will see small, steady progress. Now a question for you. What can we learn from Sydney's care for craft and others? Share your thought in the comments and join the friendly conversation below. Goodbye for now. Keep practicing with gentle courage and return for the next story. We will read, learn, and grow together on English Weaver, one step at a time.